Welcome to Way Beyond the Music, the podcast for the serious musician or music industry professional. Howdy, y'all. Hey, Mark Sebby here. Join us as we dive in and learn lessons from life experience of real Texas musicians. If you're a Texas music lover or you just love the Texas music scene, then this podcast is for you. Come join us every Wednesday at 9 p.m. We go live on YouTube and Facebook, and you can always find the recorded version of the live show on your favorite podcast distribution source. Let your friends know all about Way Beyond the Music. That's every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll see you on the show. All right, y'all, and welcome to another episode 5, man, of the first season. Can you believe that? That's craziness right there. And I want to thank all of you that are tuned in or tuning in, or if you catch a rebroadcast of this, thank you for the support, and thank you for supporting the Texas music scene. That's what this show is all about, as we dive but way beyond the music. And this week I have a very special guest. And I just don't say a very special guest because, I just want to say that. Well, I do want to say that, but it's not the only reason why. He is a very special guest. It's the one and the only Mr. Xavier Joseph. Xavier, what's up, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, man, we are actually going to talk about, and you picked the topic, life off a stage, and it ties into a lot of what you've got going on with your team and with everything. So let's dive in. What have you been up to, man?
Yeah, so right after the Christmas season, we had taken a little bit of time right before we started getting into the Christmas season, really to prepare and get this whole year going. Because if you're not ready for 2023 a few months back, then you're going to be behind. So we were ready to go. So that the second 2023 came, came on, we had a new song queued up and ready to go. So it's called Make or Mark. It landed on radio and streaming, and we're really, really excited about it and the way it's performing so far. As of right now, it's poised to be my best performing song so far, just based on the first couple of weeks. So we're excited about that. And then really the show's kicked right off. I've been also getting looking at what worked in 2022 and making adjustments that needed to be made, be it in the way I approach things or the people who are on my team going into this year. So so far it's been really good. So, just a lot of setup, and just kind of executing on the setup from 2022. So, so far it's been good. The year's still young, but so far the year has been good. It's already thrown some curveballs in the first couple of weeks, and when you're prepared and set up with the music,
brother,
plan, it makes tackling these little things that kind of pop up a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, you started at a good point, and it's almost like starting from ground zero. We are at the beginning of the year. You've made some changes. You've learned some hard lessons over the last couple of years. I know I have, big time. It has not been fun, man. It's been hard to, it's been hard to do this, even on this side of the desk. You know what I mean? And I've been on that side of the desk. I know how hard it is, but then you hop over on this side and you really start appreciating all those things those people were doing for you. When you were sitting there thinking they weren't doing anything, let me tell you something. They were probably, if they were worth anything, or good people, decent people, they were working their ass off for you and you didn't know it.
Yeah, and that's what I am starting to see now. And also on the flip side is the same. You can also tell, especially when you work with good people, it's pretty easy to start telling who is, kind of just yanking your chain and saying, oh, this will happen. Don't worry. I'm working on this. And then months go by. And it's like, oh, I'm still working on this. And it's like, I know I've seen people who work. I've seen people who are having my best interest at heart. I know all this, even if you're a good guy, not saying that just because they're not working makes them a bad person, but it's like, you learn that, I need a certain type of personality on my team. So, there's a lot of learning in that respect. So it's good. And that's the only way to grow, as an artist, as a person in general, whatever you're doing, is to, go through all sorts of different tests, trials, tribulations, all that stuff. And sometimes it comes in the form of just people. And it doesn't mean they have your Doesn't mean they don't have your best interest at heart. Like, I know there's some people that I can say with good faith that I worked with last year that truly were doing their best, but it was like, I know I still have a lot to accomplish, but I feel like I deserve better than what their best had to offer at that point. So, you know, it was kind of I had to make those changes. And you take kind of leaps of faith in that respect, because at one point you were super lucky to have that person. You take leaps of faith and, you hope they pay off. And, so
Yeah,
far they have.
sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, Bubba.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Yeah.
But
So,
you know what? Ultimately, I'm glad you brought that up. It's always hard when you make a transition, when you leave a team, join another team, when hire a manager, fire a manager, and it is part of the growing phase. And we never really know. Nobody knows except for God, right?
yep.
Nobody knows what the outcome's going to be. We don't know if it's going to
Yeah.
work, if it's not going to work. I mean, we just have no way of knowing. So to take that leap of faith, man, tell us a little bit about what that's like, especially if it's somebody you really like, but maybe you're not getting those results. And you know that they can do it, but they're not doing it, maybe, or you believe you fully believe, you don't know for sure, but you fully believe that maybe they're not doing as much as they could be, or maybe there was a communication breakdown on expectation or something like that. Tell me what that's like from an artist perspective, and share that with the audience. How you
Well, from an
navigate
artist perspective,
you through it.
the first thing that my process, the first thing that I have to do is sit back and make sure that what I'm expecting from this person aligns with, like what I want aligns with where I kind of am. If I'm expecting this person to get me, let's say, 3 sponsors and, headlining concerts and stuff like that, then my expectations are out of whack, for where I know I am. And you have to be honest about where you are. Um, and what you can bring to the table. So the first thing that I do when I start feeling like this, when I start feeling like maybe this person isn't doing the best, maybe there's something going on here, I go through and I think of what I expect from this person, and I expect on how reasonably this should be attained. And then I kind of go from there. If I feel like, you know, this person says, we should be able to snag a sponsor, and he says, yes, we can, and then all of a sudden I do it on my own, then it's okay, why can I do this and the manager can't do this? When there's certain things that I am starting to book on my own, when I have a booking agency or whatnot that is booking me 1 show, 2 shows every couple months, and I'm the one filling my schedule with, when they say they can't book me because I'm already always booked on my own, that doesn't work. You got to know, if I can do it myself, there's no reason why I need other people. So it takes a second to go back and kind of think and make sure that you're thinking the right thing, because there's also other flip sides of that, where like I have been ready to, respectfully but still message this person or these people and say, hey, you know what, I don't understand why this is not happening. And then I just gave it a little time, and then it worked itself out, and I was like, oh, thank God I didn't actually do that. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. You really
Sometimes
got to kind of check
you're better
yourself
to
before you
just
write
sit
yourself
back. Yeah.
across
Mhm.
the board, because um there's a saying they always say in fitness, because amongst all this, I make sure that I find time to do my fitness, because I used to be a competitor, so that's a really important thing. And they used to always say, your ego is not your amigo. That's what they always say. Don't be an ego lifter. So you're going to be an ego lifter, you're going to hurt yourself. So they always say your ego is not your amigo. It's the same thing here. A lot of musicians, they can play, they can do great, they might be great on shows, whatever, but that ego is just gonna get you screwed if you
Mhm.
take that and you start using that with other people, because it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm not even trying to sugarcoat. It doesn't matter how talented you are. At the end of the day, it comes down to how much you push, how well you can market. If this guy over here can play circles around me, but I can market what I got the best, I'm almost going to come out ahead. It comes out marketing, personality wise. If the guy spent years getting that good because he's been in his mom's basement just playing and playing but can't speak to anybody, it's the whole package type thing. So you gotta keep yourself in check the whole time, and know what you can bring to the table. and then make the assessments of what you're going to do moving forward, what you're going to speak to people about. Again, if you can get the results yourself, then it's probably time to start, you know, saying something to someone or asking. But it's again, even if you feel like they're just deliberately not doing something after they've promised a promise, you still got to be respectful across the board. That's the one thing I know a lot of people, especially like the younger generation of people, like even my age, my age and even younger, they get really just like uppity and they start getting like frustrated about it. I don't know. I personally don't know where that comes from because I've never been that way. So somebody else might be able to tell you better than I could that. But I see it a lot where they have like no filter and they think that makes them tough and that makes them strong. But
It
it really
makes you look
makes
weak.
it look like you can't control yourself and you have no
Yep.
respect. So, you know,
Yep. And then, even if they are good, then somebody that might have even been thinking about working with them is going to be like, man, I don't know. And that's a lesson on this side of the table that we learn too. It's not just on your side that happens. It happens on the artist side too. And if an artist doesn't work and doesn't do, man, dude, it ain't going to end good because you can't rely on somebody. This is Xavier Joseph's career
mhm.
ultimately. And just like when I was performing, it was Mark Sebby's career. And anytime that I put the eggs in the basket of somebody else, that's a lot of trust to give. Number
Yep.
one, but they also are putting trust in you to do that. I heard you mention something on the booking side of things, and I wanted to interject, but I wanted you to finish your thought first on the booking side of things because that is something I get calls on every day. If there was money in it, you and I wouldn't be doing this podcast probably. I'd be in the Bahamas somewhere. Because everybody and their mother has problems booking. They really do. I think a lot of that has to do with more people are concerned about booking than they are about selling.
Mhm.
Any sense? Look, just because you're not on stage doesn't mean you can't make money with your music. There's
Mhm.
multiple streams and where I mean, yes, you have to focus on your live show. Yes, you have to play the radio game. Yes, you have to do it all. But part of that too is creating a business and creating things that you can sell, whether they're digital products that you create, courses that you create to teach somebody something, social media content and content creation. And we're going to segue into that next. Um, there's ways to monetize yourself even right now. Even if you're just getting your start, you can get into affiliate programs, which might lead to a sponsorship or an endorsement, a product endorsement down the road too.
Yeah.
But for example, like we're using StreamYard right now, and it's not a paid thing or anything, but I recommend them all the time. I have an affiliate with them, an affiliate account, but it's more of the service. I went and stumbled through 16, I think, different we've got it streaming providers, and they didn't have what I needed. Maybe someone else like that's doing video games or something, yeah. But for what I needed, the best fit was StreamYard with the best consistency, with the fastest processing and not bogging down my computer. It's all web based. So I went with them. So that's just an example. But you've got a lot of tools and a lot of changes that you made from 2022 to 2023. And I feel like you've got a pretty good direction you're headed. I know it's not going to happen in 1 year. We know that, but we also know that you got to start somewhere and you got to start growing. And you're doing some stuff that looks really good. I've been, of course, studying your YouTube channel and whatnot, and you've done a really good job, man. Since you started on that little project, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So after one of the biggest things in 2022 that I noticed is that, in 2021, I didn't really post too much about my family. I posted more about my music and whatnot. In 2022, now that there was a lot more adventures being done. Oh, let me back this up real quick. I had a daughter in 2021. She was in the potato phase for most of 2021. So there wasn't much, and we were home a lot. So I was either out doing shows or I was home with, my wife and daughter. So there wasn't like that many, adventures and things going on outside of the house that was, you know, if you will, Instagram or social media worthy. Once 22 came and she started walking, she started finding things that she was in love with. And she started doing different things. I started documenting them more. I started posting a few more things. And I started realizing that people really were gravitating towards the personal side of my life. as well as the music. And if I kind of mixed it in together, I was actually getting more engagement for a while on the personal stuff when I would post a reel of like my daughter running around, or we did this one reel where she was holding my hand and we were just like walking towards, it was an ice cream machine, but you couldn't tell what we were walking towards, but she was just holding my hand, and all you could see was her holding my hand and just kind of like tooting along, and just that was one of my biggest videos of 2022. It literally went nuts. And I realized that people were liking that portion of what I was doing as much, if not more, than my music. So my whole thought was, okay, you know what? Maybe we can use this kind of as a way to hook people and then bring them into the music, as opposed to the other way around, focusing solely on music. And then, oh, you like my music? Well, here's my family. It's, let me wrangle you in with the cute daughter and the beautiful wife, and my family and what's going on, and see. And then, oh, look, I'm a musician. So it's kind of putting them on equal footing, if not putting the family part just a little bit ahead. And a lot of artists, kind of like what we're doing right now, a lot of artists are interested in the nitty gritty stuff that's going on, not just, oh, here's me traveling to a show. Here's me buying these guitars. Here's me, on stage. People, especially in the startup phase, they want to know, how do I get from here to here? I don't just want to see you. I don't want to just see my favorite artist on stage. I want to know, like, if I'm an artist too, how did they get there? Everyone has their own path in this respect, but if you took this path, well, maybe it gives me an idea of how I can make this my own too. And that's kind of what I decided. I first off needed to get into YouTube. And still is at the moment, but it's my weakest social media, because Instagram and Facebook is where all my people live. So I decided that we were going to start focusing on YouTube, but making videos and focusing on things that were about the whole life off stage. There'll still be the music videos, and there will still be the different things on there. How did that one become my first one up there?
I guess that's the algorithms, as they call them, or whatever.
I actually told it which one to put up there the other day. I do not know how
that's weird. That's kind of weird, man.
Literally, even this morning, I looked at it and it had a different one up there that was actually my music video. That's actually a super high quality video. So I didn't.
Yeah, the one you just released, right?
It released just a little bit. It was my last single to radio.
I got you. Okay,
a couple months ago, or middle of last year. But anyway, there's still music and stuff mixed in. Even as you can see in here, there's some couple of videos promoting like my new music and whatnot. But there's like the Christmas adventure one right there. That's a whole little blog and stuff that we have together of her meeting Santa, us doing this, that, the other thing, and things like that.
Let's see if it'll play it.
We've had a long day out here of opening all these presents, and now a whole new batch just arrived. Are you ready for more?
That's for sure.
People will stop me. I got stopped in the supermarket today 3 times just to tell me how cute she was. People, they cat call her all the time.
I just wanted to check it out real quick and just dive into a little bit of that. That's a little sneak peek of what you can see if you head on over to Xavier's YouTube channel, which we would love for you to do. Isn't that right?
Yeah, we've we got almost 200 subscribers. In the world of YouTube, that's nothing, but coming from basically a channel that has had like almost nothing a couple weeks ago to that, I mean, we're getting a good traction on that.
What are you doing different than you were before? Well, I mean, like, can you tell somebody that's out there in the audience that might be thinking, you know what, man, I've been putting my YouTube channel off. How do I get started? What do I need to do? What are some good tips that you could go? And I know you're new to this, but this is the perfect time to teach somebody new.
Yeah, so I mean, if someone was asking me, just like you were, my biggest thing, there's two biggest things. To one, I don't know. You can watch videos, you can learn, you can study, get good information from the gurus. But right now, the two things that I'm doing that are in my control right now, because I can't control the algorithm. I can't fit until I start learning how this works. I can't control that portion. What I can control is what content and having a
I think we might have lost you for a
what's going to
second.
happen. What am
There
I
you are.
going?
Yeah, you broke
Oh,
up,
you got
man.
me now. Are we good?
Yeah, you're back now. You
Oh,
had
cool.
said what kind of content? What am I going to put out and it cut out?
Yeah, so knowing what you're going to put out and then following through with that and pre-planning. So if I'm going to pre-plan 3 months of content, 2 months of content, actually sitting down and filming those things, and that's the hardest part because like I have my content schedule, but even for me, I'm still in a position where I'm not as ahead as I would like to be. But it's knowing, okay, I'm going to post this day, so regardless, I've got to get in there and do it. I want to get even better at knowing, okay, I have 3 or 4 videos in the pipeline before it comes out. With the scheduling, I'm still trying to figure out how to get
It's
that done
hard. It's hard to be
appropriately.
disciplined to get the content done because it's like writing a song, brother. And you have got to have that little bit of spark and that energy to get your creative out, man. And a lot of people don't realize, they say, well, it's only a minute video. It couldn't have taken that long. Man, those minute videos take longer than what we're doing right now.
Like I have a video coming out that because something that I'm doing, and I'm still trying to find my footing as well. Since I'm not like I don't have a fitness page. I'm not running technically a country music page. I'm not running any page with a set like
You don't
specific
have a
niche,
niche. Yeah.
if you will. It's a little bit more broad because it covers different topics so I can relate to different artists, different entrepreneurs, different things. And as we get better, we will kind of hone that in as I kind of figure out exactly what content they like. But like I'll have some vlog videos like that one I did, but I also have like one that's coming out. Um, it's a Q&A type thing that I posted a box on Instagram and had people send in their questions, and I chose 3 of those, and I'm Q&Aing that on and I finished filming that. That one is about 5 minutes long. I have 32 minutes worth of content I got to cut down from mistakes, from recuts, from all the different things. But it's like that's what it comes down to. That's what takes so much time. You can sit here and ramble and do these different things, but you got to you have to whittle that down to about 5-6 minutes in that respect because it can't be forever long. So that's what takes so long is that and as I get better at it, yeah, I'll whittle that 30 minutes of like raw footage, if you will, down to maybe 15. But even the skilled YouTubers, you watch them, they're just cuts all over the place. They don't get this right the first time, and they just cut it and call it a day and keep going. Like it's not about perfection, and that's something that I was talking to somebody about the other day. Is they were saying, um, I do a lot of things as a day job, if you will, and one of the things I do is personal training. And I was talking to one of my newer clients, and he was telling me that he's always done like this all or nothing type thing. It's either perfection or bust. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do as well with social media. It's like I'm either going to post all the time, I'm going to do it all the time, or I'm going to do nothing. You very rarely see these guys that are posting once every week and then they forget they post a lot. They do this. You see them where they've like though they just don't post. And that's the one thing I see a lot of artists don't do is they don't post, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Instagram, whatever. They don't understand or like social media. They don't like the selfies. They don't like the stuff, so they don't do it. And it's not an option.
They don't see the value in taking the time to do it yet because they don't realize what they're missing. And I think that's really, especially if they're newer, that usually is what I find to be the case. Some of them don't care. You're right. And some of them are resisting the thing that we need to change, the thing that we are the most uncomfortable with is exactly what we need to change. And I'll give you a prime example. You're sitting here talking about fitness and everything. Man, it's been 5 years since I've been to a gym. I'm not kidding you, bro. 5 years. I mean, I've walked in one, sure, but to really go to a gym for the
Yeah.
purpose of going to the gym, which is to get your butt up and work out. 5 years. Can you imagine if you took 5 years off?
No.
And it was just like it reminded me when I was, making the decision that it was time in my life to take care of myself a little better, and finally break that laziness. Really, is what it was. Looking back and reflecting on it, and being honest with myself and transparent, and to do that, man, is kind of like what you're talking about. Even for you to embrace the YouTube thing, was it not uncomfortable?
I mean, it still is a lot of the times, and I've only gotten like 4 videos in. A lot of still, I'm like, is this really what I want to do? Like, I'm not in it deep enough that I have to like keep doing this, but I keep doing because I'm like, if I pull out now, I didn't even give it a
You'll
shot.
never know. Yeah,
It's like
you'll never
it's
know.
like
You
saying
didn't
I'm
give
going
it.
to quit the music business because I'm not a success yet. It's like you've only done it for 2 years full time. You've not given yourself a shot. Like
You
you
haven't
don't
even
even know.
scratched the surface, Bubba.
Yeah, because I mean, all these people. If you look at any of these people that are performing at, the Opry, or people that are getting like the even number ones on Texas radio, or performing at Green Hall. So a lot of these guys, a lot of the artists that I'm friends with and respect, and are actually becoming like successes and like the next big thing in country music. They've been in this for like 8 to 10 years, and they're just now seeing the success. You know, so it does not happen overnight. Like it just doesn't. And a lot of people want to do this overnight. And if I quit every single thing that I didn't understand was good for me, then I mean, I think I would not be where I am or on the path that I am today. Um, you know, and that's the thing, is that like just because you don't get that it makes sense, that doesn't really matter. Like if everyone tells you that it really, this has to be done, you have to do it, then you really just kind of have to figure out how it makes sense to you, and do it. But I also, on the flip side of that, real quickly want to mention that, like, for me, I've had a lot of conflicting opinions on this, and I actually don't know what yours is on it, but I know everyone has said, like, you got to be on all the platforms. You got to be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, this, what, that, other thing. You have to be on all of them. You have to be success. You have to figure out how to be on all of them. And the one thing is, just like in music, it's like if you're faking it, if you don't really have, there's one thing saying I don't want to do it. There's another thing, really, I have no passion or desire to do a certain thing. For me, that's TikTok. I really, really, really
You're
like.
not missing anything.
I could post TikToks if I wanted to, but I feel like I don't know how I'm going to connect with these people because it's all about being genuine and authentic. I do not like it.
Have you,
So
wait a minute, have you looked at TikTok? If that's genuine and authentic, I don't know what's on your feed, but I know what's on mine. And if that's genuine and authentic, and I think I even made a Facebook post about it. I don't know if you saw that one. I finally, broke out of the mold. I wouldn't do WhatsApp. I wasn't going to do TikTok, right? And boom, I was like, oh, man, I could be missing the boat here. Like we were just talking, like you just said, you got to do them all, Mark. And I got on there and I'm like, do I really need this?
well, that's the
Because
thing, is that a
it's
lot of people say
all
you got to
fun
do it all. You
and
got to do it
trying
all,
to
and
get
it's
you
like,
to
you know what?
pay
But I
their
also
cell
had
phone
somebody,
bills.
yeah, I also had someone tell me once, it's not where you are sometimes, it's also where you're not. So if
True.
you're only on Facebook and Instagram, that's your choice, but you better put out enough content that you're grabbing everybody to those places. YouTube is a stretch, YouTube is uncomfortable, but at the moment I don't dislike YouTube. For me, my creative juices are not built to do these 1 minute videos that are fun or trendy or whatever.
Nope, me
I'm a
neither. I
I'm a
want
classic
quality.
type of person. The way I dress today is the way I'm going to dress in 20 years. Boots, jeans, shirt, pearl snap. That's how I'm going to dress in 20 years. I don't wear the trend clothes. I don't wear. That's not who I am. So following trends on, there's one thing to follow algorithmic trends, but following, like, making a video that has to fit to this song because everyone else is doing it, making a video that looks like this because everyone else is doing it. That's not really me. So it's also finding out, if I'm going to do this social media, what do I like the photo aspect of this? Am I more of an Instagram person? Do I like sharing other links and other musicians and supporting others and, different. So maybe that's more Facebook and Instagram and, and focus on those. And then maybe I'll realize, oh, I have the money and the time to, or I can make it myself, like good videos. So now I'm going to try YouTube. It's finding what your passion is and what your niche is and what you feel you can actually do that is authentic to you. If making funny, like Scotty Alexander, fantastic on, I don't know if you watched his TikTok, but he's funny as
Yes,
stuff on TikTok.
his kids taught him how to do that.
I didn't
His
know that, but because I've talked to him a little bit about it.
Miss Sandy and I are pretty close, man. Kind of helped him get a start in Texas when he first got here. And when I was at Rebecca Creek and had a little bit of a different influence in some different circles.
Okay.
And I was able to help him break the ice and get in there and do some stuff, and I'm glad I did that because I met a really cool dude. But yes, his kids taught him. Sorry, Scotty, I'm narking you out. Your kids taught you, dude. You told me. He's probably
he does good at it. Like he looks like he enjoys it,
Well, do you know his backstory at all?
I mean, I know his backstory, like in terms of how he got to Texas and who he worked with in Nashville and stuff like that. But I don't, or in LA and things. I don't, but I don't.
Dude, the guy was on the guy was on what was that old school? America's Got Talent, the old school one with Ed McMahon, was it? Shoot, I can't even remember the name of it. I'm drawing a blank now. But he was on this old school like Star Search, or I think that might have been what it was called, thing that was on TV back when we were kids, or when I was a kid, not you, but when I was a kid. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit older, and maybe even Dylan remembers this. And he was actually on that show, dude. It's in his very first music video. If you go to YouTube and look up the one about the beer. Yeah. I'm going to pull it up here in just a minute and just show you. I'm going to show you, or at least share the link. How about that? I will share the link in the description since my mind is totally blanking out now.
Yeah, and well, it's 9:30, and I'm sure you've been up like all night. So
I got up at 6 a.m. and then fed birds and chickens, and then went to the vet clinic and pulled a shift there, and then waited on Spectrum to come install their new internet, and they were running behind, and I couldn't wait anymore because we had this podcast to shoot, so I had to reschedule that. So I wasted an hour waiting on them, and then pissed my sister-in-law off because she was like, "You should have stayed there, you damn podcast."
Dude, I had internet. It must be in the air. I had super internet issues today, and I called to cancel, and they were like, "If we can come out and fix this tomorrow, can we give you 2 months for free?" And I was like, yeah, sure, come out and try. But I have another internet company coming in a week. So if it fails once, I'm out. You're out. So
well, let me ask you this. Who are you using?
Right now it's Optimum. They used to be Sunlink. Okay.
Yeah, but dude, if you can get Spectrum Business, bulletproof.
See, right now, I used to have Spectrum when I lived in New York City.
Bulletproof, pretty damn bulletproof, man. And I am not a Time Warner cable fan, and that's what Spectrum is. We all know that.
Yeah.
But dude, they do an excellent job with the internet stuff.
Yeah, our community is still being built, so we only have like 2 options of internet. So we have this or Fidium or whatever it's called. Those are our only 2 options here. So so we don't have many options just yet. So hopefully we get there soon, because I had AT&T when I lived like deeper in Houston. I loved it. I had no problem with AT&T ever. They're perfect for me.
AT&T is great. My mobile phone, dude, and I've threatened to leave them a million times, but I won't do it because I've had other services. They suck.
Yeah, I've jumped all of them too. But yeah, getting back to Scotty, like when you look at Scotty's stuff, like on TikTok, you can tell he genuinely enjoys making those videos. I don't like those. They're funny to watch. I love to watch them. I don't. That's not. I love watching what Scotty does, but I could never. He's the best example. Because he doesn't just post like guitar like cover videos, which I feel like a lot of artists, it's oversaturated with just guitar cover videos.
I'm sorry, it's boring, y'all. It is. I mean, if you're watching this and you're an artist and you're a friend of mine, and I haven't told you this to your face, I'm telling it to your face right now. It is boring. Stop. It mix it up a little bit, dude. Do something with it. If you're gonna do that type of content, do something that's not been done.
Yeah, it needs to be something special for sure.
You'll engage your fans you already have, but you're really gonna probably bore any potential new fans. That's just the thing. Everyone's telling these guys, "Hey, get out there. You got to do it." And yeah, you do, and you do got to fail a little bit, and it's okay to do that, and it's okay to put out subpar content if you're growing. If you're not changing it, then you got a problem.
Yeah, and I've also been watching a lot of things as well about like with social media, just everyone is so quick to, oh, I need to like boost myself, so I'm just going to run ads for everything. And sometimes a good boost post is good here or there, but I've been watching a lot of
You can kill the algorithm that way.
about yeah,
Oh, we lost you again. There's that
how to
wonderful. And you do need to get rid of
integrate.
that internet. Hold on real
Yep.
quick,
No,
Xavier. We lost you
I'm
again.
back, right?
Now you are.
I'm back, right?
There you go. Yeah, you're back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to make it through this before the internet calls it a day.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
No, I know you're one
but
internet
yeah,
phone call away from switching services.
yeah. But at the end of the day, no, social media, like for Instagram, I was watching a video. It was a 30-minute video, and at the end of the day, it was basically treat your social media like you treat people, like you're in a party. Go talk to people, engage with other content, like what they're doing. Go be a part of it. Don't just go there, post your thing, and close out. You got to spend time liking, commenting. You can follow hashtags. Go in there, follow them. Comment, talk to other people, and guess what? They're going to start following you back. And
Right.
that really
You create a community, a brotherhood.
Yeah,
Like we
you start creating a community. And
think about
literally,
when you're out performing and you meet other musicians and play with other musicians and run into them on the road or open for them. That's where we get to do our networking and build our group, and build our circle of musicians that we can work with, trust, and that we like.
yep. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. People, I mean, it is hard work, but you don't have to like overcomplicate it. I started doing because I was notorious for like only talking to the people in my social network circle. So I started like branching out and talking to others. Literally, I started doing it just for like 1 hour. I just sat and just like scroll on Instagram and just like talk to people, message people. I got like 6 new followers just from that hour. Like, and it's just like all people like
And
real.
that's organic.
Yes, organic, actual followers that are in our industry or love music in general or whatever.
And
Not
now they're
some,
bonded to you.
yes, and it's not just some bot from India or whatever.
Well,
It's something.
thank you for calling AD&D.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's the problem I'm trying to fix. I got somehow on some sort of like bot circuit, and like I started last year with like 14,000 followers. I'm going through like deleting the ones that are fake, because if you go like buy bots or you get stuck with some of these bots, it's
It
going to
kills
screw up
you.
your algorithm.
Yeah, big
It'd
time.
be
You're going to
better
be
to have.
marketing to India. That's
Yeah.
that's what people don't get. You hire this company that had this great ad about increase your Facebook likes and follows by clicking this link, and we're going to get you 100,000 subscribers, or we'll give you your money back. Run, dude. That is a bot farm. They're going to send you to a bot farm because they would not be losing money to give you subscribers. Believe that. They would
Yeah.
not. That is not a good way to do it. And Xavier's telling you right now, if you do it that way, then you're going to have to go back and undo it. Now, let's talk about the undoing. How much fun is that?
I mean, it's incredibly difficult. It's incredibly hard. I did it once at like the middle of many years ago, in like the middle of me building. I was just like, you know what? I just want to go do it. I just want to do it because I want to get those numbers, my followers numbers up. And I did it. Um, and man, Instagram found out and they just like blocked that thing hardcore. It took me like a month to get out of like there. This is before like real Facebook jails exist and stuff. This was like pre-COVID and everything.
You're
And it
right.
was
Before the pandemic, yeah.
yeah, and it was rough because they still, even before they got like super crazy and just like we're gonna start like censoring stuff, they got really, they always wanted the certain guidelines to be met in terms of how people engage with other people, and they didn't want all these bots and having issues like Twitter's having right now. They want to try to limit that as much as they could, and that's so when they flagged my account like crazy. And the biggest thing that I realized, I've never had this happen. I don't even know anyone who's had this happen, but I've heard that if you pull that crap on Spotify, they will just pull you down. Like, I don't even know if you can get back on like as the same person. Like they will, and all
They'll
your
ban you.
stuff is
Yeah.
just gone. So
Yeah, they'll ban you from the platform. See, this is where, and you and I've had this conversation when we were talking about YouTube stuff, about the importance of your website, and the
mhm,
importance of having an email list, and the importance of doing a newsletter, even if you only do it once a month,
mhm.
or once a quarter even. A reason to keep your people your people. You don't own Facebook. They're not your people. You don't own YouTube. They're not your people. You don't own TikTok. They're not your people. And if the people that actually own those platforms decide they don't like you, you're gone. Bye, Felicia. And all your followers are going to have to find somebody else because they're not going to leave the platform and follow you.
Yeah.
Not many, maybe 1% if you're lucky.
Yep. And it's going to be very hard to try to basically reach back out to them once you don't have social media. Social media is a great tool to pull them over to your side. And there's a lot of caveats in that sentence because also, Instagram did not demonetize. I don't think that's the word, but it promotes accounts that keeps you on the platform more than it does accounts that will take you away. But at the end of the day, if you can, put like the link tree in your bio, have people try to sign up for stuff. I guess the biggest thing that I can say that it comes down to, we could talk for hours about all different things when it comes to the best way to market, best way to everything. But it's at the end of the day, it's nurturing relationships across the board, whether it's social media, whether it's in person, and not just going into for the kill and because basically not going in for the kill and always making it seem like you want something from someone. Maybe that person could be a great asset, but I promise you, anyone who could be a great asset is going to be an even better asset if they are your friend and they actually care about you as a person. No one's just gonna.
They got to
No
believe
one
in
at this point is going to basically say, "Oh, you know what? I like your music. Let me bend over backwards for you." No one needs to do that for you. But if you become friends with them, if you nurture that relationship, whether it's people in the industry, whether it's fans, if you're always sending out, like, let's say an email every quarter or even every month, but all you're doing is asking them to listen to your music and buy merch.
No, feed them. Give them something. Give them something free. Give them a piece of you. Show who you are. Show your authenticity. Show that you're a real human being. We all put our pants on the same way for the most part. I know some of us go right leg, left or right leg. Some people jump up in the air and do both legs at the same time. That's like probably what you do, the Mr. Workout King. But my old uncoordinated, clumsy, need to work out ass, what I do is I put mine on one leg at a time, and speaking of one leg at a time, and speaking of all these great things and rolling out and strategies and everything, you have a brand new single that's out to radio, and I want to talk about that real quick and play the song before we we could go on a tangent, man. We could make this podcast last 3 days. You and I could. I know that.
Yep.
And you've learned a lot in your short time. I'm impressed with your ability to see through all the BS and to focus and say, okay, this is what needs to be done. And how am I going to get there? And then doing your research and then following through with your research and implementing a strategy. And you did a really cool thing. And I know that I turned you onto that little program Notion. I bet you know it better than I do right now.
Yeah, no, it's been great. It's been a great program. Just for me, everything's about organization. So when I started working with Notion, just kind of it's a great way because I forget what I said I wanted to do. So going back on there and having it color coded, because that's how I work even with my calendar. It's all color coded in my Apple thing. So it's really good to go, okay, this YouTube video's got to be done by this date. So I got to start planning it by this date and all that kind of stuff. So, it's whatever way gets you organized, but just do it. It's that simple. It's not just the music. If you want to be an artist, there's a lot more than just sitting there with a guitar and playing and, trying to record, because if you're recording songs and nobody is there to listen, it doesn't matter, so it's pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing in all aspects, and it's learning and, but it's also being genuine. There's a lot of parts, but at the end of the day, all the parts, if you either got it or you don't in that respect, you can't fake being genuine. You can't fake caring about others. You can't fake the passion,
Well, you can, but it's not going to sell.
I mean, people are going to see through it pretty.
Yeah, hell yeah, they see through it. Even on the internet, they can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's maintaining that once you start seeing some success as well. That's for sure.
Well, what about the new single, Make Her Mark? Tell me about why you wrote it. Tell me a little bit briefly what it's about. and tell people what they can do to help you with your journey.
Yeah, so this song is probably my favorite song so far that I have recorded in my last 2 years. It is a song a little bit different than what I've put out before. I'm not a alcohol consumer, but I spend literally every weekend in honky tonks. And the reason why this song kind of it was just such a fun song for me is I feel like the song's about a guy who he's at the bar hanging out with his friends, and then this girl walks in and she knocks him out stronger than any drink he could drink in that whole bar. He just gets bowled over, and it's just him trying to basically conjure up the words and the smoothness if you would actually speak with her and everything. It's all sung in this really fun lick. Once you play it, once you hear it, you just got to be ready to dedicate enough time to hit that thing on repeat over and over again, because it is a fun song. And I that's why I want to start this year off with a bang. But the reason why I connected with this song, since I said I'm not a drinker, and there's a lot of alcohol references in this one, is that I feel like I get to create this scenario multiple times every weekend. Since I'm on stage, I get like an eagle eye view of everybody there and what they're doing. I've watched so many people wait for that specific song, usually like a George Strait song, or He Stopped Loving Her Today, or some
dance floor. They're making their move, or you see them making out in just a minute, or buying her a drink.
Yeah, and you can watch it because you can see okay, this guy notices this one over here. Let's see what song he waits to make his move, and it's fun getting to be we're the catalyst that makes them do that. So I feel like I get to watch this.
That might be a fun podcast to do, man. Live from the bar. Let's watch this dude get rejected.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, it sometimes doesn't work out. But it's fun to watch it go down.
It is.
What?
Well, let's take a listen to the song. Here's Make Her Mark.
Yeah.
By you, dude.
Yeah.
The one and only you.
Not much.
Patron hits me like a semi-truck. Corona and lime helps turn it up. Red Bull in my vodka to start the party. But she's smooth like butter with a single rock. Her LA moves and small town talk. Only been a few minutes, but I can see this girl's gonna make her mark on me. She looks like a Manhattan, making those ripped jeans so classic. No, she ain't old-fashioned, but she don't sip from no plastic glasses. Ask what she's drinking, some of that Kentucky straight. A little wild, but just my style, looking like a shot I gotta take. Oh, Patron hits me like a semi-truck. Corona and lime helps turn it up. Red Bull in my vodka to start the party. But she's smooth like butter with a single rock. Her LA moves and small town talk. Only been a few minutes, but I can see this girl's gonna make her mark on me. Make her mark on me. My heart is rushing, feeling some kind of something. One drink and I think this girl has got me buzzing. Patron hits me like a semi-truck. Corona and lime helps turn it up. Red Bull in my vodka to start the party. But she's smooth like butter with a single rock. Her LA moves in small town talk. Only been a few minutes, but I can see this girl's gonna make her mark on me. Make her mark on me. Yeah, she gonna make her mark on me. Make her mark on me.
Man, I gotta tell you what. As soon as they're done clapping, y'all be quiet over there. Yeah, shh. Come on now, take it easy. Michael Rehan says good stuff in the comments and chats. Michael, thanks for tuning in and watching, and thank you for the very pleasant comment. We appreciate it. Yeah, and thanks for the feedback on muting the mic, Michael. With this particular setup, if I mute my mic, it mutes his song. That's the only reason we did not do that. So sorry about the delay. It does cause a tiny little bit of delay. He's right, because it's feeding back into the microphone and going into the stream. So, Michael, thank you for bringing that up. I will make a note of that and see if I can find, there's got to be a solution to it. I just haven't figured it out because I'm the newbie, new kid on the block here. Yeah, not those new kids on the block, though. A whole different breed. I'll tell you what. And I gotta say, man, there's no money in what we do. There really isn't. Very little. But dude, you get to meet people like yourself. You get to hear these songs. You get to you get to see somebody's creation come to life. And a perfect prime example, man. That is probably the absolute best song I've heard come from you or your team or your camp right there. I love that song.
Thank you.
And I know it's not your favorite, and it's really not you per se.
Yeah, it's not me,
but it is you.
Yeah.
It's what you've become. It's what you built yourself to and grown into. So don't forget that part of it, because a lot of artists will write a song like that and then say, well, but that wasn't me. But it is you. It's who you're growing into. In your process, you realize that you needed to write a song like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, at the end of the day, I love listening to the song. I personally can say with full confidence, like it is my favorite song as well that we've recorded. And I know all the songs coming out the rest of the year. There's only one more that I think holds a candle to this one in terms of just like, there's all of them are great, but it's sheer excitement. That's, I was excited about this and I was sitting on this one for a while. So I just my hope.
We'll have you back on. So yeah, do not try to send it to me right now and have me preview. No, we're saving that for a magic moment. And then what I'm going to ask these folks to do real quick is if they will do us a favor and go over and visit this young man's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful YouTube page and give him a subscription. He's real close to 200. If you could do that. There's a link in the description of this video right now. If you just scroll down there, you can do it easily without having to do a YouTube search or anything and still continue enjoying the stream. Just go down into the description, or if you're watching this at a later time, and click on it. And when you click that link, it's going to automatically subscribe you to Xavier's YouTube channel. And then you guys can become friends, man. And dude, I am super excited about your journey. I can't wait to see what 2023 brings for you. Is there anything else before we got about 5 more minutes or so before we call it a show and call it done? This was about life off the stage, and we've talked a lot about that. Yeah, it's going to always come back to the conversation of music at some point, because this is what we do. But you did talk about your daughter. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about for the last few minutes about the life off the stage part that you want to share with everybody?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that I can tell you is, for me, the life off the stage is the most important part of anything that I do. Even though that when I go on stage, I'm at the honky tonks, these people, they only see what I'm doing there. They only see the show that we work so hard to put on. But the most important thing, who I am the other 5 days of the week, when I'm not performing on Friday and Saturday, pretty much is what you see in the life off stage segments, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So this is, the real me. This is where the music comes from, is all these experiences. And, for me, I don't have the music. I don't have this stuff without that other part. So I'm excited to be able to share that and really kind of open up in that respect, and to a certain extent be vulnerable. My newest video that's coming out is going to be talking about, being a father and traveling for all the music stuff, and answering a couple of questions that I received in that respect. So, we really get to kind of dig deeper into, the way that I feel when I do these things. But I know I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one out there with kids while we do this. I'm not the only one that's starting up that has a kid that's like, I can't do this because I have a family.
Right.
My goal is to be able to encourage them and realize that they're not the only one doing this, as I've seen from, the different people that I've spoken with. The new gentleman who's helping me as my manager right now. He's told me a lot of stories that make me really feel like, okay, I feel like I'm the only one, but I'm not. Everyone else is going through some version of this as well, all these artists. So it makes, it's great to be able to build that community. So that's my goal, is to be that person. And you can follow, you can sign up as well for my email, like we talked about, my newsletter. There's a at xavierjoseph.com, there's a little box that prompts that pops up there, or you can just go to the top and sign up yourself. Super simple. I send out newsletters of different happenings, different things, big and small, every other week. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, those are becoming, YouTube is getting mixed in there as my main platforms, if you will, but those are my three main big boy platforms, that I'm consistently always active on and watching and working on. And, so I'm doing everything I can to let people see me as a full artist, across the board, not just, oh, here's my song, I'm going to promote it, and then I'm just not going to do anything with it after a little bit. I'm doing everything I can. So my hopes and dreams are that everyone, especially like with this new song, that everyone loves it and does their best to support it. As much as I've worked to put this out there, so far this song has been my best release across the board, based on the radio stats, based on the Spotify streams, the everything so far. It's been my best out of the gate song. So I'm hoping that, and I truly believe in my bones, this could be like my first top 30 if I really play my cards right. I got top 50, so if we can do top 30, I feel like this song could do it, because
Look, y'all, I like that attitude. He ain't even trying to get that top 40 next. He's going straight for that 30, man. I like that. That's some drive, dude. And if Dylan, if you're listening, man, you got your work cut out for you then, brother. That's a damn good song to cut it on, though. I'm going to tell you what, that is a great tune. I'm excited about it. I've got it spinning over at Texas Internet Radio for you. And real quick, there's your website up on the screen for everybody. Go over to Xavier Joseph. I'll let you tell them about it, man. This is I like the website. It's very well done, man.
Yep. XavierJoseph.com. Just for like even this, like it looks, there's that little, you type your email in there and you're going to be right there for all the newest and latest and greatest information, that's going on. So please go on there. You can see everything. This is the best pivot point to everything else that I do. So you don't have to remember all the other social medias. Just go to here and you can pivot to anything you like. It's the easiest way to do all this. And if you're a Spotify listener, following on Spotify is such a help. A lot of people will save songs and stuff, but a lot of people don't realize how much it means to like follow like you would any other social media. So if you can follow on Spotify, if you're a Spotify user, that would be fantastic. But anyway, yeah, I mean, thank you so much for having me on, Mark, and letting me kind of talk and commandeer some time on the show. And I hope this show goes great for you. It's
man,
a really exciting premise.
It's fun, man. And I don't want it to be fun. I don't want it to be too serious. I mean, that might come to bite me in the ass later, but I want it to be fun, and I want it to be, about reality of what we go through as musicians and in the music industry, no matter what hat you wear. And also there's people that are out there that aren't per se in the music industry that do stuff for us too, and they're involved in it too, and they get it too.
Yeah.
As they do it longer, they start seeing, man, this is not as easy as I thought it was for these guys. Yeah.
That's like my manager right now. He's not a he's a lawyer. He's not in the music industry at all, but he's learned through other artists he's worked with how to do it. So he's like a businessman and a lawyer first and foremost.
I think JR's guy is the same way, his manager, John.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
So it helps. It helps when, you don't always need a musician in there. You sometimes need a different perspective. So yeah, there's a lot, but having a place like this where it's like a one-stop shop to like learn from other artists is a great way. You can get so lost on YouTube and so lost in different places when you're trying to figure out your path. Having a place that different artists will come on and speak and talk about, their journey.
I wish more people, honestly, dude, I wish more people were watching it. I know there's a lot that are, but I know there's a lot that aren't because the calls keep coming in. They're too busy watching the girls on TikTok that are going to ask them for their credit card to pay their cell phone bill at the end of the conversation. That's what they're too busy doing, and then saying that they don't have time for social media.
Yeah. Well,
And if you don't think that I don't know that that's exactly what goes on, all you got to do is study their page, study their social media page, and watch their interactions. And if you've been doing this for a while, or you've done social media for a while, you know exactly where people are focusing their time and attention to.
yeah. Well, nobody excuses their way to success. So
No, sir, you're right. You're absolutely right. And sometimes you can work, and there's still more work to do. But yes, sir, thank you so much for being on tonight. And I'm wishing you the best of luck with everything you have. Don't forget to go down in the subscription and subscribe to Xavier's YouTube, and also go by that website and put your name and email address in there so you can stay in the loop in case Xavier, and I don't think he'll ever do it. He seems like a nice enough guy, but just in case he ever makes Zuckerberg and all them other dudes mad, and they end up pulling his YouTube or Facebook, or heaven forbid his Instagram. I know that's your baby. If they ever do it to you, man, at least you got that website, and it's a hell of a website. It's good looking. It's got everything on it that you need. I encourage all of you to go by there. I encourage all of you to subscribe and help him with his YouTube journey. Let's help him get up, if we can, with this video. Let's see if we can get you 50 more subscribers. That would be wonderful.
Yep, that would be fantastic.
If you guys could do that, those that are watching now, or even if you're watching it later, it's not too late. Help. Even if he sees at 250, help make it 260. If he sees at 3,000, help make it 5. We need your help. So go by, like, and subscribe. There's lots of good content coming out. I know some of the plan stuff that you have. We are going to have you back for a follow-up segment before the single's done too, so we can catch up on that.
Okay.
And with that being said, man, I cannot thank you enough, and we will catch you on the next episode next Wednesday. We will be with Mike Rhodes from Colorado.
Awesome.
And we're gonna talk about songwriting on the mountaintops.
Oh, wow. Sounds good.
Yes, sir. So thank you for being here, man. And thank all of you for watching, tuning in, and listening. We will catch you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, as they say in show business, that is a wrap. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Way Beyond the Music podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on the show and you're an artist or an industry professional, or you've got something cool that you think you could teach the audience, at SebbyMusicGroup.com. That's Mark, M-A-R-K, at Sebby, S-E-B-B-Y, Music, M-U-S-I-C, Group, Group.com. I'll review your ideas, take a look at who and what you are, and we'll see about getting you right here on the Way Beyond the Music. We'd love to have you. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and also go visit us and be a Patreon. Go over to our Patreon site, and you can also get some really cool merch that's going to be rolling out here in the next week or two over at our online store. Check out the description wherever you got this podcast from for all the links. And we will see you next Wednesday at 9 p.m. for Way Beyond the Music. All right, Texas music lovers, we're going to catch you next time.